Good morning, everybody, or should I say good morning? How are we all doing today? It's another Pergamano Summer School lesson number 8 with the lovely Linda Williams. So we're going to give you a few minutes just to pull up a chair, get your coffee ready. I've got mine here, good to go. Hopefully you can hear me, or I should get the all clear from Jilly very shortly. We've already done a sound check earlier on. I've been chatting away to the lovely Linda in the background. So how are we all doing it? What's the weather like? We had torrential rain this morning, and now it's a beautiful sunny day. Dare I ask the lovely Linda what the weather is like down in Wales, or do I already know that answer? So hopefully everybody is coming in. Good morning, Anne. Good morning, Pamela. I can see a few names popping up on the side there. So I think I've just had the all clear from Jilly. Sound is good. Thank you, Jilly. If you've got any questions, pop them up on the chat. Either myself or Jilly will pick up on those and I'll relay them to Linda. So without further ado, the lady herself, we shall say good morning to the lovely Linda.
Good morning.
Good morning, Linda. Go on, I'm going to ask.
Go on.
You know what I'm going to ask. Go on. Shall I see if I can guess the answer first?
Yeah, go on.
I reckon you've got beautiful sunshine down in lovely Wales.
Well, no, I'm afraid not. It is poking its head through the cloud at the moment, but it's been pretty bad. We've got a brook at the bottom of the garden, and it flooded last night. And it doesn't flood our garden because we're that much raised, but it floods across the road and it runs down into the estate opposite. So we had a digger in our brook, almost in our garden, at about 1:30 this morning.
Oh, really?
Blue flashing lights and diggers, and so it was a bit of a restless night, really. But it's been torrential. Yeah, much like up with you.
Yeah, it was this morning. I got up and it was literally throwing it down. And I mean, I only have to walk from the house to the car and then the car to the office, but I was like a drowned rat by the time I got it. I can see we've got lots of lovely people in the room with us again today. I can see some names. We've got the lovely Zena, Angie, Helen, Pat Hoskins. I wonder what it's like down in Cornwall with Pat. What do you reckon? I reckon Pat's probably had torrential rain as well.
Yeah, she can always eat her pasties. Pat Hoskins has got Kia Farm down in the West Country, and they've been awarded the best pasty, best Cornish pasty. So I'm gonna try Pat's pasties one day.
Pat's pasties.
Yeah.
Sounds like a TV show, doesn't it? Pat's pasties.
Yeah. So okay.
So what are we up to this week in
We're doing the semicircle. We're exploring the semicircle tool today. So shall I start?
Yeah, why not? I think everybody's probably pulled up a chair, and let me just swap the cameras over.
This is it.
There we go.
This is the semicircle perforating tool, not to be confused with the semicircle mini. Let me see if I can show you. So I'll show you the end of the semicircles. Don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we'll try. Semicircle.
Yeah.
Semicircle mini.
Right, okay. So the larger one curves.
Oh. Wait. See, just why did it do that now? Yeah.
No, it's not going to have it, is it? Try one.
Minute.
There we go.
Okay.
So
yeah,
the one
curves one way and one curves the other way. But the symbol for the semicircle mini is much smaller than the one for the semicircle. If I turn it round, you can see the footprint. This is the semicircle mini. This is, look, it's discoloured. I've had it so long. So you can see it's a big difference.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, you can do the same things. It's just that the footprint is different. So
I suppose that's like the single needle and the fine and the bold needle. You get different effects from it because it's different sizes.
Yeah. And I don't think you'll be able to see that, but the two end needles
Yeah.
are actually, no,
They're
you can't
slightly
see.
longer, aren't they?
It's slightly longer. That's to enable you to place it in the right place. Because if you've got a pattern, like a pattern that we use, as long as you get the two end needles in, the rest will follow, won't they? As long as you get, it's important that you place them correctly, and then the rest will follow. And then you've got your dot. Your dot is right in the middle, look, of the bottom, and if I turn it round, it's right in the middle of the top. So that enables you to, so you've got two things that'll keep your tool steady. Okay?
Okay.
So I think today we go simple today, and the next time we visit the semicircle, we'll go a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to just do that there, the plain edge.
Okay. Yeah.
So let me get my pattern. So here we have the layers again. So I've got a piece of card, my picot form, my tumble dryer sheet, my pattern, and my piece of parchment. So I'm going to rub my piece of parchment over with my tumble dryer sheet.
Yeah.
And as we're concentrating on this bit here, put that in the middle. And stick your... Did I turn it over?
I can't remember.
Did I turn it over, Paul?
I don't know. I was reading the comments down the side of the screen.
Well, it's lubricated on both sides now.
It's better that way. You can't go wrong then, can you?
Yeah.
I think I get into a habit. If I'm going to use multi-needle tools or do grid work with Josie's plates, then I automatically just wipe both sides because I always forget.
Yeah, I suppose that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to put the magnifier in place now.
Okay,
there we are.
super.
I've been practicing it this morning. I've tried lots of different ways, but this works the best, I think. Make sure I got the right perforating tool. So let's go along that way first. Okay, so I'll make sure I do a little test piece in the corner. Make sure that the tool is the right way round. That's a bit wonky, so I need to turn it slightly. So I'm going to go right in the corner there.
Yeah.
And now I need my groovy guard, look. There we are, because the paper is rising a little bit. So then you reinsert one needle into that. I'm going to put in that end one there, I'm going to reinsert the needle. So I haven't got a line drawn in. You can draw a line in if you want. Especially if you're going to emboss the whole thing. You could draw your line in first if you wanted to, or if you're working along the edge of an embossed square that you've embossed with your groovy plate.
So the repositioning of the last needle is similar to sort of when we're using the 2-needle tool, isn't it? You're just...
That's right, yes. Yeah.
It's that same thing.
That's right, yes. It's a little bit of a tight corner to cut that, actually. So what you could do, let me just show you here. If you're working, say we're working, let me use my groovy guard as a guide. So what you could do is perforate, okay? And leave a gap that's roughly the size of a 2-needle tool.
Right, okay.
Oh no, I've gone.
Gone into habit there, haven't you, Linda?
I
You
went
just
into
back
habit mode there. Yeah, let's do it again there. So you can actually use a 2-needle tool if you want, but it's quite time consuming if you do it like that. So, and that then, when you've cut it out, you won't notice that there's a little gap there.
Oh, your camera just switched. Oh, it's gone back. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's gremlins in this camera, you know. Absolutely. Right, now then, let's take that off there. And I'll bring my black embossing mat in because it's easier for you to see rather than my pink one.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to put a cellophane bag under there.
Okay. There's a little bit of a glare. I'm not sure if it's coming from the magnifying glass.
Yeah. I don't know what's causing that. Is that better?
Yes, that's it.
You can see it all right, though, can you? Yeah?
Yep, yeah. If you bring it just there, that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So if I put the cellophane in, does that give too much of a glare? Yes, it does.
No, that's fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So this is I'm on the front now. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to actually emboss a line in so that I've got something to work on. Find my fine embossing tool. I'm just putting a line in.
So normally you would have for example, you could have done that with your nested square groovy plate.
Yes, yes. You'd always be working around something, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
No? So we're actually going to do, so let me bring that in for you to see. So you can either fill it in completely with a little bit of embossing. There's lots of things you can do. You can put little dots in, but what I've done is I've put a little fan shape in.
Oh yeah, I can just see that. Yeah.
I'll show you that as well now.
Okay.
So if we're going to fill the whole thing in, I would say, what have I got here? So I've got a 3 and a 4.5. You could start it with a 4.5, you know. So I would emboss this in stages because it's quite a large area as embossing within a needle tool goes. So I'd soften it with a 4.5.
Okay.
And if you think that's too big, if you think that's pushing it, soften it with the 3mm. But make sure that you don't get any lines with that. So the bigger the tool, the softer the embossing. So either the 4.5 or the 3. And bring your embossing right down. Don't leave a gap. Can you see the gap there?
Oh yeah, between the embossing and the straight line.
Yes. So if you bring it right down, you'd be surprised how far down you can get. You need to try and incorporate the line into that little bit of embossing. So if I do one that's not, and then I can show you the difference then maybe afterwards. So very, very gently. And by the time you've gone all the way around, you can actually do it again. So I'll this time I'm going to use my 3mm. So I generally go up and down like that and go right up to the line, and then I generally will go around the outside a little bit just to smooth it out. I think you get into a habit of the way you do it yourself, you know? And then have a look at it on the front. Always check it on the front, see what it's doing. because sometimes it looks different. Okay, probably could do with another go.
You can see those top 3 where you haven't gone right up to the line.
Yeah, you can now see. You can see the gap, can't you?
Yeah.
And it doesn't look as nice, does it?
No.
And I mean, sometimes the gap is, I've deliberately left a wide gap for you to see, but sometimes the gap is a hair width wide, but it still doesn't look quite right. So
I suppose this takes us back to, it takes us back to when you were showing us the beautiful shading work and how to put the faux veins within the leaves and the butterfly wings. Yes. And about getting comfortable with where the edge of the ball tool is. Yeah.
Because you think you're on the line, but really, if you look at the ball tool, you can pull it back a bit and sort of work almost over the line, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
There we are, that's much whiter.
Yeah.
Okay. And right, so then we can perforate it.
Could you use the 1 needle bold to reperforate on this one, or are the needles too close together?
I think you'd be pushing it a little bit if you used the bold on this.
You'd be asking for trouble, would you?
I think you would. Yeah, I really think you would. You could try it, but I think you might end up with tears. I'll have a go, shall I? Let's see. I would recommend the fine for this, but we'll have a little go with the bold. So I'll try the fine is there now. So perforate deep using a 1 needle rather than the semicircle itself.
Yeah.
Chances are you're never going to get it in the right place.
But it'd probably take longer by the time you try and reposition it.
Oh yes, absolutely. But you can see how close those dots are because we've reinserted them. So let's try the bold. No, it's okay. But they will sort of go into one there where they meet.
Yeah, depending on the angle which you're holding the needle, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. I mean, of course use it if you're struggling to see with the 1 needle fine, but you can see the difference there, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So before I cut that out, I'll do this one here.
Okay.
I've got an enlargement here. That's what it looks like. Right. So what I'm going to do is, there's your semicircle. I'm going to find my middle point and make a little dot there.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to use the ruler and I'm going to use the 1 needle tool to draw a connection between that dot and each perforation.
Right.
Gives you a lovely little fan.
It looks like the Pergamano fan.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Okay, back with my embossing mat. And for this, you need...
Oh, camera's gone again. Oh.
It's when I've only got to knock the table a little bit. Everything is wobbly.
I know that feeling well.
Yeah. Oh dear. So you could actually use the end of your groovy guard to do these little lines if you wanted something smaller than a ruler. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to turn it over now. So I'm back on the back of my work. I'm going to work along the top. I'm going to use a 0.5 millimeter. You can do it with a 0.5, but I'm just going to mark a little dot. Find the center of the tool, the perforations. Just a faint dot you need. Now you can do it if you want to. If you don't want to be using a ruler, you could actually do this by hand. But what you've got to do is, when you're using the one needle tool, you don't want to perforate the paper, so you're actually dragging it along like that.
Right.
You don't want to be dragging it along like that, otherwise you might make a hole. So I'll do it freehand first of all. So I would do them all in one direction first, like that.
Yeah.
And then I'd turn the paper. Very, keeping your hand in a comfortable position. So I turn the paper and then do those.
And you're doing this on the soft mat, aren't you, Linda?
I'm doing this on the black mat.
Yeah, but on the soft side.
On the soft side, yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put my bit of cellophane underneath it. So I can feel it giving. So you can do it all freehand, or if you think it's much neater with a ruler, yes, but it is much more time consuming.
I suppose it's the overall effect that you're hoping for, isn't it?
Yes. Nobody's going to realise that you didn't use a ruler.
There's no Pergamano police inspecting, is there?
No. Not in this joint.
Could you use the 0.5 mil tool to do this? This is a question from Jane.
Yeah, you could. If you're a bit worried, you could actually use it. Let's try it. But the line isn't quite as fine then. If you're a bit afraid of it, make sure you go right up to that dot in the middle so that you don't make crosses rather than a little fan.
So when you strike to the end, are you actually going into the perforation itself?
Almost.
Almost.
And the perforation is so raised anyway, it stops you from
going too far.
And if you squash it, it doesn't matter because you're going to reperforate anyway, aren't you? So
that's right.
It doesn't matter.
Karen's asked a question. Please ask Linda where she got her large magnifying glass from.
The very big one that I use all the time, from Amazon.
Right,
and
okay.
It's actually a daylight. It has times 10, I think, magnification, and it's got a ring of LED lights around the inside of the magnifier, around the inside of the rim of the magnifier. I wouldn't. It's the best thing I've ever bought with regards to parchment craft. So I work in my lounge and it's quite light in there anyway. So, but it's brilliant. It really is good. So I'm going to turn it back round. Okay. I've got my perforating mat now, my Pico foam and my the thick foam, the super foam.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm going to now perforate deep with my one needle. Fine, or bold if you want, it will work. We've tried it out, haven't we?
It's quite magical when we just watching and you do the initial perforation, which is quite shallow, and then to add the extra embossed elements, whether you're embossing the whole area or creating this beautiful fan effect. And then when you go back and reperforate, the difference that reperforation can make.
Yeah, it comes to life, doesn't it? It looks so much neater then. So I'm going to do this one as well. Remember, I left a gap.
Yeah.
So I can show you how it looks then when I actually cut it out. It's a great little edging tool, this. You can do some center designs with it, but this is better for an edging tool rather than center designs. But there are a few on the sheet.
Yeah, I was just looking. You've got how you've made sort of like it looks like a set of snooker balls. So you've turned it into
Oh
obviously
yes, you can make a circle out of it.
yeah, obviously with it being a semicircle, you would think, yeah, you've got the
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah, so I'm going to cut that. And then so I do the same with this. When I cut, I'll cut all the ones going in the same direction first. So you can see now how close those are together. You might think, oh, I can't get that tidy, but in the big picture, no one's going to notice it. So you'll have a picot on one side, and the picot the picot is there on that one. So the picot there on this one will be a little bit short.
Right, okay.
Because they're so close together. But no one's going to notice. See, for me, I think the one needle fine gives such a delicate look, but the one needle bold is cutting okay. It's not doing too bad with that. And when you're cutting, all you need to do is to put the tips of the scissors into the holes. We've said this before, and a good idea, if you're wobbly at all, you can steady your scissors with your finger, because sometimes even the smallest of wobbles will actually make a difference to where your picot lies.
Right.
I've seen some people cut like that with their finger on top. That steadies it as well. Everybody's got their own way of cutting, haven't they?
Yeah.
I use my scissors like a spoon.
Yeah.
That way.
With the
Some
curve
people
going
will
upwards.
cut with their scissors that way. If you're using it that way, you're probably better off putting your first and second and middle finger in that way, with your thumb holding it there, so that you've got a bit of control. If you're cutting with it that way, I prefer to put my thumb and my first finger up into the scissors, rather than if it's that way, put your fingers down into the scissors.
And that was the traditional way of cutting, wasn't it? With the points going down and the top fingers going through the top.
Yes, that's the way I was taught as a teacher, and that's the way I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it that way. And I thought, well, there's got to be a way I can do it. So I found my own way. So I was wrapped across the knuckles for that one. I've always been a bit of a rebel.
Oh dear. At the end of the day, if you get the result that you want to get, then it's like, it doesn't matter how you get there, whether you jump in a car, you get on a bike, or you walk, as long as you get to the destination.
Absolutely, it doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter. And I've always said, when you're doing your white work, if you can't get it white, if you're struggling and your parchment is buckling, why would you waste that beautiful piece of work that you started doing? Why don't you just get a white pencil and get it off the back?
That's what I used to do. I got told off for that. Barb told me off when we first started doing Groovy. And I'm impatient and I want it to be white straight away, but you can't. And I said, Barb, I've coloured it with the white pencil. It looks white. No, she went, you're not going on TV doing that. She said, you've got to learn. And I went, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
but you know what? It works if you want to, like snowmen. I know you've mentioned in the past your beautiful snow family, the men, the ladies, and the babies. If you're doing a lot, then a white pencil will just give you that look quickly without spending the time doing it.
Yeah, and another thing too is, if you're doing a lot of embossing, if you've got an outline, I'll use a tip for you. if you've got an outline to anything, if you've already done a groovy outline or any outline, any embossed outline at all, and it's a big area, once you start to emboss in there, because you've got the constraints of that outline, it's going to be really difficult for you to get, for you to stop it buckling at some point on your design. So once you introduce that outline, it's really, really hard to get the bright, bright white without buckling your parchment. If you haven't got the restraints of an outline, it's much easier. This is why we never used to outline our flowers and things, and we just used to do it with a white pencil and just emboss. There we are.
Wow.
I'll bring it a bit closer in a minute once I've cut this one out for you to compare.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do this little bit here now.
So delicate.
Well, we've not got long now before the retreat, have we?
I know. Gosh, that's come around all of a sudden. It always does so, doesn't it, Linda?
Yeah.
You think, oh, we've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
So I know it's full steam ahead with everything that yourself and Josie and Lynn and Hazel sort of getting everything ready. So next week, there's no summer school next week. It's just me. And I thought, what did I think? I haven't really thought about what we'll be doing next week, but we'll do some recapping, and I think we'll maybe have a look at the book in a little bit more detail, look at some of the artwork, and we can have a practice on maybe a little bit of shading and using some of the tools. So it'll be like a little bit of a refresher course next week. And then the following week, there won't be any Facebook Live on the Tuesday because we'll be at the retreat. So we're letting Linda have a week off next week.
So that's right.
So I say let Linda have next week off. She's not really having next week off. She's going to be sort of prepping like mad, packing the car and ready to head over to Kent. I bet that'll be a strange experience going. I mean, I know you went up to Luton earlier in the year, didn't you? But I'm guessing you haven't ventured out since then.
No, we haven't. We haven't been anywhere. I think we went out for a family curry, and that was really strange because it was my daughter's birthday. But apart from that, Rob and I haven't ventured out anywhere. We get our shopping delivered, and it's going to be really, really strange. We've not. Right, so now you can see the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got, I know there's no decoration in there. If there was decoration in there, that gap would be less noticeable, but it's still pretty that way. Okay, but you can't notice how tight that is in there, can you?
No, because as you say, it's the overall effect, isn't it, that you're getting. Yeah. And you can really see the difference on that bottom row where you haven't gone up to the. I mean, I think it looks quite nice. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No.
But you can see the difference, but only because you're comparing it to the ones that have been solidly embossed.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, there's not much difference in those little lines with the 0.5 millimeter and the 1 millimeter.
Yeah, I can't see any difference. I forgot that you'd swapped over.
Yeah. I thought then, what's the time? Oh, we've got time for, I thought I'd show you that little one there.
Oh, the little whirligig.
Yes, that's a delightful little one as an infill. It looks like a firework you put on a Christmas card or... Yeah? Should we do that?
Yeah, let's give that one a go.
It's a nice little one to do that. So I've got my piece of card now. And my pattern. And my tumble dryer sheet. Underneath. So I have already rubbed it all over. Let's turn that around. So it's the bottom right-hand side there. Okay. So you don't have to do just one row with a semicircle. If you look at, have I done any more there? Yeah, there's actually 2 rows there. So you've got the 1 row and then you've got the 1 row on top, and it's staggered, and then you've got that nice little shape that it's created when you stagger them. So, and you can use it upright and then turn it round to do the down one. So that gives you an even bigger scallop.
Wave.
Okay, now then.
See, it's great having the book because you can have a look at them, and because you've put the finished sampler in the book as well, you can see what they're meant to look like once they're embossed or cut. Or
okay,
I like the little pile of snowballs.
Yes. Well, that's easy, isn't it? So it's use the tool upright, insert the end ones, and then you've got a circle. Okay.
Easy peasy, yeah.
Easy, yeah. So this one, so as long as you've got the first and the last, so you've got a dot right in the middle there. You've got to utilize that dot on each perforation. So you will always go into that middle one, okay? If you don't go into that middle one, it's not going to work. So as long as you've got the outer one in position, I can't see it now. Right, I've got to be able to see it, haven't I? I think. I think I'll turn it that way. There we are. I can see it going in there. There we are. Sometimes you see, you just alter the position a little bit and you can see it better. There we are, that works. So if I put the middle one in, okay, it's right off. And if I just turn that round to where it should be. Okay, so I'll do that again now. So middle one. So I'll turn it round. So just put the middle one in and adjust the tool to fit. Just swivel it a little bit.
So for the first one, it's best to go from the outside in.
Yeah.
And then from the rest of them, from the inside out.
Yes.
Okay.
As long as you know you're getting in the right place. Right, okay, I'll just do 2. To get our embossing mat back. So I'm going to turn it round, and what shall I use? Let's see. I think probably a 3mm. Let me see if that fits. Yeah, that's about right. So what I'm going to do is, you're not embossing a straight line here now. So where the tool goes down, you're going to do a little bit of a sweep like that. Okay?
Okay.
So just follow the dots. So get the tool.
So you're doing that on the inside.
Yeah, as close as you can to your perforations.
Yeah.
And then work your way round to the perforations of the next one.
Right.
It's good. It's a good exercise for doing some curved embossing. So I'm still flicking.
Yeah.
I'm still pressing there and taking the tool off there. Okay, so where the tool's going down is the whitest, and where I flick it off is where it'll be the palest.
Yeah. So it's still that aeroplane or striking a match technique.
Yes. And it, like I say, it doesn't matter if you actually flatten the holes. Just try and get that graded effect on your weight work. I saw some lovely snowflakes on Facebook. People have been practicing their snowflakes.
Oh, after last week's
Last week,
lesson.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll give it one more go now. And another thing you could do, when you're doing your embossing, if you want that gradual shading, you use the largest tool that you can get in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could go back in with a smaller tool and make it a little bit whiter. So I'll show you that now as well. So maintain that curve if you can. Yeah, it's really good exercise this for. And the needles keep you on the right track. The perforations will keep you on the right track.
Act as a barrier.
Yes, stops you going over. So I'm going to go in now, show you the front. I'm going to go in with the 1.5, which is the next one down from the 3mm.
Okay.
What a sound out, you know.
So Lynn has just asked, are we embossing on the inside or the outside of the curve?
We're doing both, actually. The inside of one and the outside of the other.
So you're starting off on the inside and you're working towards the outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that one there, I'm right in the corner where they meet, and I'm going that way. And then I'm working towards the next one. So what you're doing, really, is you're filling the space between the needles. So you're working on the inside of the curve of one of them, and the outside of the curve of the next one. And then you're working on the inside of the curve of that one, the one that's next to it.
So if I just flip the cameras for a moment, Linda, I'll hold the book up to my camera so we can see. So this is what we're doing here.
That's right.
So we can see where it is on both the inside and the outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can see where it's a darker grey. If you've got a pattern where it's a darker grey, means that's where the brightest white is. And it's shaded towards the outside. So you're filling the space there. I couldn't put the grey, I'd go closer than that, but I couldn't put the grey close to the perforations or it would just confuse people.
Yeah, so, it just look as if it's all done completely. Yeah.
But on my sample, I'm going right up to the perfect. I can actually feel them hitting the side of the embossing tool.
Yeah. So don't forget, if this is the first time you've tuned in, or this is we're on lesson number 8 now, we've got a special section over on our website with the summer school where you can go back and watch all the lessons from Linda. There's a downloadable list of the tools that you would need. So you could download that, print it off, see which tools you've got, see which ones you've got. You've got the books in there as well, volume 1 and volume 2. So we're currently working from volume 1. So yeah, so if it's the first time you found us, then welcome. Where have you been? Been late to school. But you know what? It's all for free, and you can. What I love about it is that we put it all in one special section over on our website that you can just go back and watch it again and again and again.
Okay, so there we are. Now turn it over because we were on the back, weren't we? And I'm going to perforate deep.
Okay.
With the one needle. Being as it's the middle one that we're not going to cut out, let's use the one needle bold for that then, shall we? See what it looks like. Might look quite nice with the one needle bold. It's a bit more pronounced, isn't it?
Mm.
So these holes now using the one needle bold, they're getting quite close to each other now. And then you'll find that we'll be using tools that have got more needles again. And I think you probably have to call it a day with a one needle bold with those.
Otherwise, it would just look like a one big hole.
I think people are warming to the needle tools now.
I think so. I think
sorry.
if I can think, you've given us a book as our sort of our lesson plan, really. And like me, I see stuff on the TV and I buy it and I think, yeah, I'll get it home and I'll give it a go. And then I get the book and I look and I may think, oh, where do I start? Because you're overwhelmed. So to have this backed up now by the fantastic summer school tutorials, it really has, because when we first said we was going to do this, there was everyone saying, oh, I've got the book, I've got the book, I've got the book. But I didn't know where to start. And now people are saying, I know exactly where I need to start. I feel more confident now in giving it a go.
Yeah, I think so. So there we are. Isn't that nice? I think that's really pretty. And be lovely along there. I mean, there's no stopping you. You could go a little bit further. Let's use. Could extend it a little bit if you wanted to. So
you could turn them into little flowers.
Yes, you could. Yeah. Let's see what we can do with that. So here I go again, perforating after I've embossed. So would they meet? Well, I would tend to go. I haven't got any room on that one. You could actually go in the other direction. So I can't do that one there, but you can see.
Yeah.
So you could actually then perhaps extend it a little bit further.
I suppose it's all about having a play, isn't it? If you try the basics that you're showing us and then just take another piece of parchment, not necessarily do the white work, but just practice with the different perforating combinations.
Yeah, I mean, they're really lovely to play with, needle tools. You can do so much with them. Oh, and here's a little tip from Pat Hoskin, because she used to make her own needle tool patterns.
Yeah.
Before we ever had computer programs to do these things. She would, remember I said last week about putting practicing on a piece of graph paper.
Yes.
To map out some of your needle tool patterns.
Yeah.
And I said to put a piece of white paper underneath your graph paper.
Yeah.
And then I said take your graph paper off and then use a fine liner pen to put a dot around the holes. What Pat said was, you don't need to use a black pen. You just put a piece of black card underneath your white paper and photocopy it, and the black card will show through as dots.
Oh,
so
clever.
Never thought of that one. So you can extend it. Can you see?
Oh yeah.
So you can do lots of different things with it.
Gosh.
Yeah. So how much time have we got left?
It's just coming up to 10:02.
Do you want to do another one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, let me show you how to do that one then.
Okay.
And then the next time we do it, I'll show you this one because I've got something that I can show you. I've got a card that's finished that I can show you how to do that one. So I'm getting confused with all my maths here now. Right, so we've got my piece of picoform. So we're going to do this one here. Move it over a bit.
See, again, you've done all the hard work for us, Linda, with this guide, because if you was doing this freestyle, so to speak, without a pattern, you just had the tools, it's getting that angle correct, isn't it?
Oh yes, you would struggle to get the angle correct if you're. That's why if you're going to try and do it yourself, you really need a piece of graph paper. But it's, I mean, these are months and months of playing about. You know, that's how these have come about. So I'm just gonna. There's my first perforation there.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to put one needle into that one there, and I've turned the angle of the tool a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
And then I turned the angle of the tool again. So probably if you're doing a lot of them, do the ones that are facing the same way all together.
Yeah.
I'll just do the 3 here now.
Jane says they look like little clouds.
The little clouds, yeah. So you've got different ways then of filling that shape in. I'm going to put a straight line in again, just for something to work to.
Okay.
I was doing another slow flick then. Okay. So, right, so if you're going to, let me show you my example first. Let me move that out of the way. And I'll put it on. There we are. There it is.
Wow.
Okay.
That just works. It's a beautiful border.
It is pretty.
And it looks as if the image in the middle has been stuck on top, but it hasn't, has it?
No.
Wow, that's the illusion it's giving from what I'm looking. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got this one, this is the one we did in the retreat, remember?
Oh, that's right. The lovely little fluffy birds.
The first parchment retreat that we ever did. So there we've got one row, and then on top we've got another row, which just gives it a pretty corner. And with this one, this is a totally different fill.
Oh, so it looks more like hearts.
Yeah.
And is that using the 1 needle fine or the 0.5 to put lines in?
0.5 to do that. I wouldn't do the 1 needle fine to actually trace out a shape. It's okay for doing straight lines.
Yeah.
But that is this one that we've got here.
There.
Okay. So let me put this back. There we are. So if you're going to fill that in as a white shape, you're probably better off with a 4.5 millimeter, I think. No, I can get a 6 millimeter in there. Get my bit of sellotape in. I'm really heavy-handed, so I have to be very careful. So
you're such a gentle lady.
Yeah, I'm very heavy-handed. So you've got to do this ever so gently, because it's a bigger area again now than what we did before, remember? So that would be filling that one in. And if you wanted to do the little fan shape, what I would suggest is, what should we use? So we've got a 0.5 millimeter ball tool. I'm just going to trace out the shape. Can you see I'm sketching a little bit?
Yeah.
I haven't rubbed this with a tumble dryer sheet. You think you'd have told me, Paul?
I thought you were still on the same piece of parchment.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use I'm going to use a a 0.5. No, I couldn't find it.
What, the bit that you was using?
Yeah, I can't find it. It's disappeared. Can you see, instead of going with one sweep, if you just sketch it in and then sketch this one in.
So that's putting like a line just on the inside of the perforation.
Just on the inside, and I'm going as close as I can because they're keeping my semicircle nice and neat. So I'm going right up to the edge of them, but I'm just sketching it in because I don't want to lose that lovely curve. I'm not joining them there. All I'm doing is I'm just going into the end dot. And the reason I'm not joining them there is because I want to get a line in. So if I find the middle point there.
Yeah.
Okay. And I get my ruler. So I'm going to do the middle one first, and I'm going to take the end of that line and join it to that dot.
Okay.
And that one on the end there, join it to the dot, and then the end of that line. And that gives you 3 little fan shapes.
Oh yes.
Okay, and then all I did to emboss that was exactly the same as we did in that little swirl, that little whirligig swirl. I've got a 3mm ball tool here and just a gentle fan out. I think I'll use a 4.5 actually to start it off. I'm not going all the way, I just want to create a gentle shadow.
And you're staying within those lines you've just added in?
Yes. And that gives a nice little shadow, and then I'll go back in with a 3mm, and that creates a nice little bit of shading. And then you can perforate it around the outside and cut it out. So with this one, I'll go back in and give it another. So I'm right up, I can push this tool, because it's so big, you can push it right up to the edge. And the, like you said, the perforations will stop you going over. And if you're a bit afraid of this one coming down to the line, then wait to get rid of that gap there when you go down to the 4.5mm. So I've used the 6mm first, and then I've gone down to the 4.5, and I probably wouldn't go any smaller than this tool for using in that space. And here's probably where I might use a white pencil. I've got one here somewhere. I've got a little stub of a white pencil here somewhere. Yeah. So do it as much as you think you can possibly do without compromising the parchment. So look.
Oh.
Oh.
You have to pick one up when you come down to the retreat, Linda.
I think I have got a spare. I'm just getting value for money. So if I do half of it, so nice white. There we are. And you could actually do it on that as well if you want. But I wouldn't recommend just using the white pencil alone, just substituting the white pencil for the embossing. It wouldn't look so nice.
It would look flat. Yeah.
You can see that bit's not done.
Oh yes.
So it's got it just to a nice grade of white.
A smoother look.
Smooth, yeah. Okay.
Wow. Gosh, that's another hour gone so quick.
There we are.
Oh, Oh, well, you've gone little now. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Wow. All of a sudden, we looked at the clock and it was past, and then all of a sudden that half hour just flies by, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And we're all more than halfway through the book now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah,
crazy. But
yeah,
I mean, I've learned so much as well, just like from watching and absorbing and seeing questions being asked for people that are joining us, and then obviously feeding those back, because there's some questions I wouldn't have even thought about asking.
yes. Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
great
And
to
you can
have.
always, if you think of questions later on, you can always ask. There's always one of us around on Facebook.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, if it's
yeah,
working.
yeah, if it's working.
If it's working.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
as always, Linda, it's always a pleasure, and so much
Thank you.
knowledge from you. And so we'll let you have next week off.
Oh, thanks, Paul.
off from the school, and then you can have the following week off. You can come and see us down in Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah,
Can't
I'm
you?
looking forward to that. It'll be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be really
Yeah.
nice, and everyone
It'll be
that's
very
coming along.
strange. And I know people are a bit anxious about coming, and people are coming on their own, but there's no need to be anxious. It's just all friends together.
It is,
All
and it's
coming
amazing
together.
some of the friendships that have built up over the years.
Yeah.
They just go from strength to strength, don't they? So
Yeah, they
it's
do.
it's friendly, it's calm, it's relaxing,
Yeah.
enjoyable, fun. There's so many words to describe
It
it.
is, and if you think you're going to be able to be adept, you're not, because we'll be showing you things and you think, oh, I can't do that. But when you break it down into little steps, and what does it matter anyway? And I think this new technique that we're doing, will enhance your work and maybe make you feel less afraid of making mistakes, because you pull in a couple of techniques together here, and one will mask the other. So if you're not doing too good on one thing, then the other one will help it along. So it's quite
very
interesting.
magical. What you and Lynn have come up with is absolutely magical.
Yeah.
And Josie as well, the beautiful. Well, I can't say anything, but yeah.
Yeah.
Not long to go now. So once again, thank you everyone for joining us. Don't forget, if you've missed any of the previous episodes, you can go back and watch them on catch up on our YouTube channel. We've got a space specifically on the Clarity Stamp website with all the lessons in there from the lovely Linda. I'll be with you next week, and we'll just have a bit of a recap, we'll have a bit of a play, a bit of a chill. If you've got any requests, then you can always drop me an email. A lot of you have got my email address, which is paul@claritystamp.com, and we'll see what we can cover. Where are we now? We're Tuesday today, so that means on Thursday. Oh, Thursday, it's Cracker Shack. Cracker Shack with Barb.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that on Thursday. So Facebook Live in the Shack with Barb, Cracker Shack at 10 o'clock. I know she's got some beautiful stuff lined up to keep us all busy and occupied and company. So yeah, and the lovely Leonie is on TV tomorrow with the beautiful brand new designs from Sam Crow. Oh, real sort of Sam Crow at her best.
Yeah, they're lovely, aren't they? Smashing. Yeah.
So until then, we'll see you later in the week, and we'll see Linda in a couple of weeks. And if you're coming to the retreat, if you've got any questions, you can always phone the office or drop us an email. So I'll be in the room with Barb in the virtual room. Thank you to Jilly, who's been helping out today.
Thank you, Jilly.
We'll see you again soon.
All right. Bye.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye.